Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. While the voice you hear may be that of an English-speaking man, let me assure you that the heart that beats in me is a Tamil heart. There's a saying among theatre people that the ultimate madness of a theatre person is that they think the difficult we will do tomorrow, and eventually we will achieve miracles. We never cease to believe in miracles. Theatre is not possible without that belief. Theatre is an art that is written in the wind. The performances that we see today become memories that fade and are held only because our hearts and our minds refuse to let them go. Even in this brief introduction to Tamil theatre since 1935, as a result of this fabulous initiative to bring together not only the scripts, but also the photographs, the posters, the many little fragments of memories that we have of theatre that unites us as a community. There's no doubt that the history of the Tamil theatre community is a subaltern history. It is the history of people who are minorities and who see themselves as this minority, but with an enormous responsibility and a role to play in the shaping of a national identity. The details, the minutiae, the tunes, the stories, the characters, the tragedies, the comedies, the immense, heartfelt sorrow, and the soaring joys of people are what make theatre magical. There can be no theatre without life, and there can be no life without theatre. The two are entwined. They are entwined in history, they are entwined in literature, and ultimately they are entwined in the hearts that beat within us as human beings. This is an art which is ephemeral. This is an art which needs all the support we can think of to keep it alive. But it is an art that sustains us. It's an art that reminds us what it is to be human first, and what it is to be a Tamil in Singapore. In a sea of difference. There's no doubt about this. We live in an ocean of unceasing difference. But in this ocean of difference, if we fathom for even a brief, shining moment what it is to be alive, and what it is to live a good life, and what it is to care and to hold out a hand when there is a need for such a hand. When we remember these elements that make us humans, we begin to recognize humanity not just in ourselves or in our communities or in the languages that we speak, but in all people we live among. We realize that neighbors, we realize that people living across the street, in other houses, above us, below us, around us, are fundamentally and essentially the same. And what moves us, what keeps us, what sustains us is this common humanity. Theatre is an art form that is based on a faith in what it is to be human. And Tamil theatre, a theatre that essentially drew its strength from an oral tradition which is immemorial, which was present and alive even before we began to write these things down. Theatre draws from that voice, which is now a mere echo in our minds. It is this echo that needs to resonate. It is this echo that our children must one day hear. That is why we need to keep alive this tradition. One of the earliest memories I have of theatre, appropriately, was at the Sri Mariamman temple. There was a performance, a ritual performance of Aravan Bali. It's the sacrifice of Aravan, performed as only I can recall by a group of men who played all the roles. Draupadi, Krishna, the Pandavas, Aravan himself. And the form that was used was, I think it was derived from Tirukuttu, although I cannot be sure. And the point of the performance was simple. It was sacrifice. The sacrifice of the warrior in aid of a greater good. For me, that particular performance has been an inspiration. And although I've begun to work very quickly and soon in English language theatre, it was the inspiration of that performance in an open space with music and words and a story that lived for as long as anyone can remember, that has sustained me in my work in theatre. And I have no doubt that this initiative that has been launched today, with its little fragments and its posters and its pictures and its scripts and its words and the memories that it will weave together, will one day sustain a community that still believes in theatre. It is my great honor to be here today to see the launch of this initiative. Thank you.